.com studios. This is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WIBC HD2, HD3, Indianapolis. The Philadelphia 76ers host the Milwaukee Bucks in NBA action. Sunday at 12:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Welcome to On the Horizon Weekly with Greg Rakestraw on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Welcome to the latest installment of On the Horizon Weekly. My name is Greg Rakestraw here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The best illustration I can tell you about just how close the Barbasol Horizon League men's and women's championships are getting here in the Circle City is right outside of our studios here on Monument Circle. As I was walking into the studios today, I noticed that the banners that adorn the monument, the light posts around the circle, no longer reference the NBA All-Star Game. That great event happened on Sunday and, of course, was a party all weekend long. But if you look around, you see the members of the Horizon League, 11 strong, knowing that 4 men's teams and 4 women's teams will compete on March the 11th with Championship Tuesday, women's game in the afternoon, men's game in the evening. Tickets available now at horizonleague.com. We'll talk to a fan that's become a super fan of this event because it's in his backyard in hashtag Midtown. Sorry, Jake Query. Yay, Sean Sullivan, Derek Schultz, and myself. Sometimes we have inside jokes on the program. As far as the opening segment of the show is concerned, our coaches spotlight with truly a legend at Green Bay and Kevin Borseth on the women's side. He'll be joining us in a matter of moments. But we start today's show with the Under Armour Player of the Week on the men's side. Our men's player of the week, brought to us by Under Armour, is Jack Golke, a grad transfer into Oakland University, a three-point specialist and then some, and again had one of his best weeks in his time in an Oakland Golden Grizzly uniform, hence the award. Jack, congratulations. Thanks for joining us, and just your thoughts about the recognition and the honor from the Horizon League.
Yeah, first off, thank you very much for having me on. It's definitely a cool honor to get, and one that obviously Trey and Blake, 2 of my teammates, have already gotten this year, so I think it's cool to see that we got 3 guys that have been up for the award so far, and just excited to keep rolling with this season.
10 of 15 from three-point range against IUPUI. I think that would qualify as being in the zone. What was that feeling like to experience that on the court?
It's always great to have a night like that. Obviously, it's you kind of just forget everything else that's going on out there, and you're just putting up shots, and that feeling of just knowing that they're going to go in is obviously your goal every game. But you can't get there all the time. But when you do, you kind of just got to take advantage of it and enjoy it while it lasts. Do you keep track in your head in a game like that how many threes you've made? No, I mean, sometimes I will know just because, like, the scoreboards are up and you can see, like, your stats and stuff like that, but I don't really know, like, off the top of my head, like, what I'm at here and there. So during the game, I'm not 100% sure where I'm at. It
wasn't a huge move for you in terms of distance, but you go from Hillsdale, great Division II school in southern Michigan, and then on to Oakland to finish up your career. Why was Oakland the right place for you to play your final year of college basketball?
It was honestly a pretty easy decision. My coach at Hillsdale was super supportive of my next steps, and he knew Coach Campy here at Oakland, so that kind of made the getting to know each other part pretty easy, and the basketball side of things just was a really good fit program-wise. Obviously, Coach Campy's had so many great shooters in his past time here, and he kind of gave me the keys to be in that role here, and that's something that I've always admired from the Oakland shooters in the past. As a Midwestern guy, I've always seen their success, so kind of just wanted to follow in their footsteps, and it's been working out great so far. Yeah, guys like Kangas and Bader immediately come to mind from years gone by of Oakland marksmen of the past. And so I had your game against IUPUI, the first one, not the one where you made the 10 threes, but the one back in January. And I did the math back then that you were basically averaging taking a three about every 3.5 minutes that you are on the court. Those numbers now are somewhat similar. 849 minutes played, 269 three-pointers attempted, and 3 shy
of making 100 for the season. I know you'll get there and blast past that in the last couple of weeks of the season. What is it like to have that level of green light when you step on the floor?
It's great. I mean, Coach Campy instills that level of confidence in me and Blake as well, and it's just really freeing to go out there and know that your coach and your teammates have the utmost confidence in you, and it kind of just lets me go out there and operate at the level that I want to, which is anytime I get a clean look or even maybe somewhat not clean, still put it up there, because at the end of the day, like once you get your 10 attempts or however many it is, 12, 15, you're going to make a good amount of them, and that's going to help your team because of the way that other teams are guarding you and things like that.
Well, we have talked about you as an individual. Let's now talk about your teammates and your team, because you're exactly where you want to be. With 3 games left to play, you've got a half-game lead on Green Bay for a potential conference championship. Just your thoughts about where you stand right now in the Horizon League standings.
Yeah, super excited about how our season's gone so far, and I think we're still extremely locked in, and we kind of know what it takes, and we've proven that so far. And I think we're kind of clicking at the right time, and we're all coming together, playing really well, playing off of each other on top of that. So the team's feeling really confident, and I think going into these last regular season games, and then once we get to the tournament, I think it's only up from here, because we've proven that we can get better as time goes by.
Listen, as good as the regular season has been, including that win against Xavier back at the end of November, you got to win 3 straight games, and 2 of them being in Indianapolis to be an NCAA tournament team. Again, having had a great level of success at the small college level, what would it mean to you to end your college basketball career in March Madness in the NCAA tournament?
It would mean everything. That's been our goal as a team this year, and that was a goal and a dream of mine as a kid, obviously. And as I grew up playing basketball, that's something that every kid in America wants to do, is play in the big dance and be able to showcase their skills out there. So honestly, going into these last couple of weeks of the season, I don't think I've ever wanted anything more in my basketball career. So just hoping we can make it happen. Now,
you are a graduate student at Oakland, so your undergraduate degree is in what from Hillsdale?
Accounting.
And what are you hoping to potentially get a master's degree in during your time at Oakland University?
I'm working on my master's of business administration right now.
And obviously you're focusing on basketball, but whenever the basketball career is over, whether it's after this season, whether it's potentially playing professional, whatever the case may be, what are you hoping to do with that at some point in time down the road?
Yeah, I've learned a lot of valuable skills from basketball and from the classroom from my time in college, and I have learned that I definitely want to do something in a leadership role. So maybe working for a smaller private company and working my way up in the ranks to be a manager, and then maybe even a CFO one day at one of those small type of companies would be something I would love to do, because I like working with people and I like the business side of things. So being able to help a team improve is something that I think I would be good at.
But as long as the job entails making threes, keep doing that as long as you possibly can. For the guy that very appropriately wears number 3 at Oakland University, it's Jack Golke that joins us. He is our Under Armour Horizon League Men's Player of the Week. 10 made threes in the walloping of IUPUI on Saturday afternoon. Jack, thanks for the time and best of luck the rest of the season. Hope we see you here in Indianapolis in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Greg.
Our coach spotlight this week for On the Horizon Weekly on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. I don't think I'm going too far when I say he is a legend in college basketball coaching circles. Over 800 wins will do that for you. Having a successful second tour as the head coach of the Phoenix of Green Bay. And, of course, his team is tied atop the Horizon League standings with Cleveland State. It is Kevin Borseth that joins us now. Coach, thanks for the time today. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. And obviously, you are used to a very high bar of success for your basketball teams at Green Bay. Your thoughts about where your team stands with 2 weeks of regular season play left to go?
I don't know. It doesn't. It's a tough league, and there's every night, any given night, boy, I tell you. You got to bring it. We're in a good spot where we're at right now, but certainly not too comfortable. We got 4 games left and 4 really good opponents, so got a ways to go here yet.
It is a very unique situation in which you go Green Bay, Michigan, Green Bay. And I know you're now a decade into kind of tour number 2 in Green Bay, but just how much did the league change in that 5-year period while you were away coaching in the Big Ten?
It's kind of hard to tell. I've been back here now for 11 or 12 years.
Right.
So, the game of women's basketball has changed in terms of the volume of talent. There's a lot more talent than there was 10 years ago, and it's doing nothing but growing right now. So the skill level, the size level, the talent level, the coaching ability to coach, everything has really taken, the women's basketball has taken a jump in every imaginable area, in my opinion. So as a result, it's a lot more competitive.
Well, you're still getting talent to Green Bay, and you have done that for a long time. What has allowed you to bring such a good level of talent to Northeastern Wisconsin?
Well, I don't know. The majority of kids that we have in our squad are all local players. They're people from our immediate area, but I don't know if that's the same for everybody, but a lot of schools it is the case. But for us, for the most part, we've thrived on local talent, players that have been around our program for a period of time, and fortunately we've been able to keep those players around, and as a result, build something over a period of time that's helped us.
Every team you've had is unique. What makes this one unique? What's different about this specific 23-24 group?
I don't know. I've had the fortune to coach some really good players and some really good teams over the course of time, and it's really hard to differentiate one from the other because all of them have been very competitive. They've been all driven. They've been all bought in. They've been all the things you want your players to be as a coach, and these players are no different from this standpoint right now. We started the year with a lot of experience. That's probably the difference that we have, but of course now a lot of teams have caught up in terms of making that difference for experience, but still have a very experienced squad, very good kids, and they kind of have the same type of mentality our teams of the past have had.
Well, one of the things that strikes me from the offensive standpoint is balance. No player score more than 14 points, but I guess we'll ask you about his defense, because when people are shooting less than 39% against you and scoring less than 60 points, again, in an era where everybody scores more points, and as you said, there's more talent to go around, clearly defensively has been what you've been hanging your hat on all season long. Just thoughts about what your team has done on that side of the ball.
Well, I don't know. I wish we were better defensively. I wish we could impose our will. We're just kind of taking punches right now, unfortunately, rebounding the ball in the process, but I don't know that we're imposing our will on anybody. Not one of the best defensive teams we have. They're driven to be really good, and we're working really hard at it. But, I think our valuing the basketball has helped our defense quite a bit.
Well, one thing that you certainly have is a running mate in terms of atop the league. Your thoughts about what Coach Kielsmeyer has done at Cleveland State this year and kind of that race you have to the top over the last 3-4 games of the season?
Well, he's come in here and he's changed the dynamic of this league, man. I'll tell you what, those kids come in and they play. I mean, they compete. They just go. Every one of them, and every one of them just is fearless. They're hard to play against because of that type of mentality, and he's got them convinced that no matter what they do, it's going to work. And right now it is working for them, and of course that zone they play is good, and their tenacious ability offensively makes them a really good team.
You've got the next one coming up is Oakland. What's the scouting report on the Grizzlies for tomorrow night?
I think Oakland's got them. I don't know. Oakland's good. I mean, they beat us on their floor over there. They scored 50 points by halftime. I think they're as dangerous as anybody, if not the most dangerous team in our league. Loaded with athleticism, loaded with skill, good shooters, can score. They've got a lot of things going in their direction, and Deanna's doing a really good job with those kids right now. And the coach's absence, and they're just really a very dangerous team.
Finally, before we let you go, there's always one thing from a bio that I pull or strikes me as interesting. So literally, as I'm looking at greenbayphoenix.com, under the section that says worth noting, Coach Borseth began his coaching career at a minimum security prison where he ran open gyms for inmates. I'm not sure if I've seen a coaching bio start with, he got his start in coaching in prison. Tell me about that.
Well, I don't know. Somebody started the article, but I was doing coaching prior to that. I mean, I was working with some football. I was working with some basketball. I was working with some baseball. Just kind of enjoying. I'm a sport guy. I'm most comfortable in a pair of sweatpants and tennis shoes. So I didn't make a difference what it was. It just so happened that part of my junior college gig was running the minimum security prison. And yes, the rest is true. Yeah, I ran the gym and kind of taught basketball to those guys there. It was quite an interesting start.
And obviously it's been one heck of a career, as I mentioned, 37 years of coaching and 800 wins later. Coach, as always, appreciate the time. Best of luck to you and your team the rest of the way. We'll see you in Indianapolis here in 2 or 3 weeks.
Thank you very much.
Again, I'm not sure that Coach Borseth needs more of a resume boost, but I'll give it to him here. 16 times his Phoenix teams have won a regular season championship. 13 times they have won a conference tournament championship. NCAA tournament wins over Washington and New Mexico, and top 25 wins this season at Creighton as well as against Washington State as part of the Cancun Challenge. And we'll talk more about their tournament resume when we crunch the numbers with Kelly Ford coming up in the next segment of the show. Our opening segment brought to us by the good folks at Barbasol, of course, sponsor the Horizon League Basketball Championship coming up on March 11th and 12th. Anthem, who presents School Day at the same event. Vallejo, of course, who sponsors the Fan Zone. And don't forget about the KeyBank International Women's Day event coming up on Tuesday, March 12th. As always, HorizonLeague.com has more. When we come back, again, we have started to segment these shows. The Northern Kentucky segment of the show. If you've got a friend that knows about the Norse, this segment will be for you. We've got the women's Under Armour Player of the Week, not to mention the men's all-time leading scorer in program history. That all comes your way next segment. It's on the Horizon Weekly. My name is Greg Rakestraw, and you're listening to 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
We're all different. 1 in 5 of us live with a mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Talk to someone you trust. Learn more at bringchangetomind.org.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, this is Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner. Jiffy Lube is a one-stop shop for all your car's maintenance needs to operate safely and efficiently. At Jiffy Lube, we believe knowledge is power. Our Jiffy Lube teams don't do repair work, but our focus is on becoming your go-to guys for all your manufacturer's recommended maintenance. So while we are still the fastest team in town, cars and trucks need a lot more than oil changes. Tires need to be rotated, wipers, belts, lights, and filters wear out. Brake parts need to be replaced. Why make yourself deal with 2 or 3 different shops just to take proper care of your car? It's way easier to join the million Hoosiers every year who drive into Jiffy Lube and drive out with the peace of mind that their car is safe and working well. We are a one-stop shop for all the maintenance your car will ever need.
The go-to guys for all your car's recommended maintenance needs. Jiffy Lube.
Spring break, daydreaming about those 2 words helps me get through the gray days of winter. Hey, it's JMV. And as you're thinking about a beach, snow skiing, or whatever your happy place is, and trying to figure out how to make it happen, talk to my friends at AAA. Get complimentary travel planning plus access to discounts on hotels, cruises, rental cars, and more. They can make sure you get the best price on your spring break vacation just by being a AAA member. Plus, if you run into trouble on the road when you're on spring break, AAA has you covered. Flat tire, dead battery, running out of gas, lock your keys in your car. AAA is there 24/7, 365 days a year, no matter where your travels take you. So, do yourself a favor and join AAA today. To get your AAA membership, visit AAA.com or call 844-GO-AAA-GO or stop by your local AAA office. us. Hey, it's JMV, and 9 years ago, I got my hair back. Look, you've lost 50% of your hair before you even notice. If your hair is thinning, grow your hair back this year with the company I trust and the only company I know with all the solutions in one place. Call 317-522-2995, 317-522-2995, or WeGrowHairIndy.com today. Get your hair back.
The Midwest Independent Baseball League will be holding open tryouts for baseball players looking for a team. Chasing that dream of playing on the next level? The Midwest Independent Baseball League is looking for the best of the best. For tryout dates and locations, visit aleagueofourown247.com. That's aleagueofourown247.com. For a change of a lifetime. aleagueofourown247.com.
Your bathroom is boring and basic too. It seems like there's nothing you can do. A better bath awaits. You'll feel brand new, relaxing in a world of peace at the Bath Authority.
Hey, it's Andy Sweeney. Schedule your free in-home estimate and get $1,000 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. Restrictions apply. A better bath awaits.
You're our priority at the Bath Authority.
There's a lot of sexy content on the internet. And there's The Fan, full of faces meant for radio. KB and Andy, Jay Query, and JMV. Now streaming every day on YouTube. Go to youtube.com and look for 107.5 The Fan.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's JMV for the 14 Central Indiana Joe Childers Run CarX locations, helping you maintain winter road readiness. Of course, winter driving equals pothole season. CarX Tire and Auto is here to help you avoid the winter blues. Free brake, shock, and strut inspections going on right now. Save 20% off 4-wheel alignments as well. All you need at your 14 Central Indiana CarX locations to find the one nearest you. It's CarX.com today.
Indy Humane, committed to helping Central Indiana's pets in need since 1905. Find your new best friend today. IndyHumane.org.
There are 48 million unpaid family caregivers in the United States. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to access a free guide to help navigate your caregiving journey.
It was not the season we expected.
Caught. No, it's dropped.
There were highs.
It's a touchdown for the Colts.
There were lows.
And Anthony Richardson is down on the field. He's pointing to his right shoulder.
And it's not too soon to start dreaming about next year. NFL Combine, free agency, draft day, rookie minicamp, OTAs. And we get ready to do it again at Grand Park this summer. The Colts season never ends. On 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
That's great. It starts with an earth.
Welcome back to what will be not just segment number 2, but the northern segment of the show, as in Northern Kentucky University. Greg Rakestraw with you. It's On the Horizon Weekly here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. This portion of the program is brought to us by the Capital Group, IUPUI, Gatorade, Deister Machine, and Franciscan Health. This week, the Women's Under Armour Player of the Week hails from Northern Kentucky, as we talk to both her as well as their men's all-time leading scorer in this segment of the show. Joining us now is our Under Armour Women's Player of the Week in the Horizon League, Kamari Mitchell-Steen from Northern Kentucky, and I would say these numbers qualify. She had 25 points in a 188 win against IUPUI on Wednesday, then on Saturday pumped in 30 in a road win against Wright State. Certainly Player of the Week worthy, and we're thrilled she can join us now. Hello, Kamari. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What does that award mean to you to be named the league's Player of the Week?
It means a lot. It gives me more motivation to keep doing what I'm doing right now for my team.
55 points in 2 games. Clearly, something was clicking for you. What felt good about what you're doing on the floor last Wednesday and Saturday?
Well, it felt good whenever they had to come out and guard me more now, since I'm more of a shooter now. So it opened up the lanes a lot more for me to get to the basket. So they either going to let me shoot or let me get the drive.
I'm going to say more of a shooter now. So are you simply making more? Have you been working on that part of your game? Tell me about that.
Yes, over the summer and during preseason, I've been working on my threes a lot and building more confidence as I've been shooting them.
Well, to that point, 29% from three-point range so far this year, but obviously that number is getting better. The other thing to kind of reference here is the fact that in this era of players moving around, you're in your third year at Highland Heights. So I guess let's go back to your recruitment. What was it that felt right about NKU being the place for you?
They actually really wanted me. I mean, they were the only D1 school that really reached out to me and actually wanted me to actually come here.
And then what has kept you there? Is it that same feeling? Is there a sense of loyalty? In an age where so many players after a year or two or even three move, what's kept you there the last three seasons?
It was the fact, like, the people here, everybody's so friendly. The coaches are nice. Like, if I want to get a workout in, they'll open the gym up at any time for me. And it just feels like home here.
That's good to hear. For those that don't know, home is not too far away from Kamari, just one state to the south from Oak Ridge, Tennessee. One of the things we talk about in the Horizon League is that our campuses are located in the heart of the city. You're in the suburbs, but you go to the right hill, you can see downtown Cincinnati from 4 or 5 minutes away. What is it that you've liked about that area that you now have called home for the last 3 years? What's good about Cincinnati and northern Kentucky?
I just like the downtown life, like all the murals that's out in Cincinnati. And then I like how small Highland Heights is. Like, I can navigate through the campus easily. And the classes are not that far away, and I don't live that far from the arena. So that's very good.
The last time that we talked to one of your teammates, and she wins this award again, Carter McCray is the freshman of the week. She's got a good chance of being the freshman of the year this year in the league. What has made her freshman season such a special one for you and your teammates?
It's been special because we didn't really know what we were getting into when we had her because we didn't really have a post player at all. But from seeing her in the open gyms in the summer, she's been working hard this whole year. And seeing her on the floor, you can tell she's been working hard all year long. And she's been helping us a lot this year.
That's good to hear. And sorry, I stepped on you there. While you and your teammates are 9-16, frankly, the record that is most important is your conference record, and you are 7-9. And as I look back at your recent run of form, you won 5 out of 6. The only team you lost to happens to be one of the 2 best teams in the league in Green Bay. So, Kamari, what has changed for you and your teammates these last 3 weeks where you guys are seemingly playing your best basketball right now?
Well, I think that we just finally gelled together because, as you know, we're basically a new team because we have several people that left, like Lindsey Duval. And, like, a lot of people had to step up. And at the beginning of the year, we weren't all healthy at all. And plus, on top of that, we were a new team and new people had to step up and play. And I feel like now we're all comfortable playing with each other now. I have more chemistry on the floor.
All right, so we are talking to you on game day, and I greatly appreciate you joining us right before, you have a tip-off of a game tonight. What's the game day routine like for you? What mentally, kind of what do you go through the day before the day of the game?
On the day of the game, I wake up, we have team breakfast, and I come back to my apartment and make me a coffee with Cinnabon. And then I'll watch a little TV, get prepared for the game, listen to a couple songs to get me hyped up, and then I head over to do shoot-around, and then be with my teammates and get hyped up for the game and try to help everybody stay pumped for the game.
All right, I got to hear what's the soundtrack. I'm going to see if I might maybe know one of the songs if I'm lucky. Give me your top 2 get pumped up songs in your soundtrack on game day.
There's a lot of songs that I like, but as of right now, I like Texas Hold'em by Beyonce. It just came out a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Obviously, I know the artist. Now I got to go listen. So that is now what my next task is to do right after the show. Kamari, congratulations on the honor. Thanks for the time on game day, and best luck against Purdue Fort Wayne coming up this evening.
Okay, thank you so much.
There are certain people that we knew we were going to have on this show at some point in time during the course of the year. Kevin Borsett, the Winds head coach at Green Bay, was one of them last segment. And this young man has been a star ever since he set foot on campus at Northern Kentucky. Well, as of a couple of weeks ago, he is now the program's all-time leading scorer at north of 2,000 points and counting. It is Marquez Warwick that joins us now. You and I were having this talk off the air, my friend, that there's been a lot of talent that has played in Northern Kentucky in the last 50 years. What does it mean to you to have that title as the all-time leading scorer in the history of NKU basketball?
Yeah, I mean, it means everything to me. Just individually, the work I put in, like you said, stepping foot on campus, I had to earn everything that was given to me. And so, like you said, the legacy here and all of the talent that came through, starting from the Division II days, man, goes unnoticed, and I'm grateful for that.
I remember watching this piece about a month or so ago. I think the guys at Fox 19 put it together, and your mom was emotional, and you were emotional, and Coach Horn was emotional, and it really struck me in watching that just, how important being at this place was to you. So if you will, let's go back 4 years ago when you're graduating from Henry Clay in Lexington. Why was NKU the right place for you?
It just fit, all the boxes that I wanted to be checked in the recruiting process. I felt the genuine, love and need for me being here at NKU from day one in the recruiting process, and they showed that. And one of their things was player development. As a person and as a player, I just wanted to get better every single year that I'm here, and so. I felt that in the recruiting process. I knew, at the end of the day, this was the right choice.
The other thing that stood out, and I know you've talked about this in that piece, and I'm sure you've been asked about it many times before, let's face it, guys don't stay 4 years at a given place these days. They'll play for a couple of years and then look to move up, move down, whatever the case may be. What has kept you in Highland Heights for these 4 years?
Oh, yeah. Like I just mentioned, the love and support and the player development. I've just gotten better every single year, and above that, just winning. The ability to win here, to play in NCAA tournaments, and just to compete for that. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, honestly. Just because Coach Horn and our staff, they provide that winning factor, especially down the stretch of the season. And that's what I want. That's why I'm here, to win.
Well, obviously, you've had winning moments at the place that you're hopefully going to lead your team to in about 3 weeks at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. So let's go back last year to Cleveland State, 63-61, to cut down those nets, to feel that confetti, to know you are continuing on your season in the NCAA tournament. What memories come back of that night immediately to your mind?
Definitely emotion, because it was just been my dream since I was a little kid to play in the NCAA tournament, just watching it on TV. And so, being able to accomplish that, with my team, it meant everything. And like I said, just emotion, flares every time I think about that night, because it's just all the hard work that we put in as a team to get to that point.
And let's face it, Houston has been really good for some time. They've been flirting with being the number one team in the nation a little bit this year, so they're on TV all the time. You and your teammates hung with Houston in that opening round game. They beat you by 11, but what has it been like watching them this year, knowing you gave them a game in the first round of the tournament last year?
Oh, yeah. That's a game I wish we could play again. I wish I could have it back, just because we didn't even play good offensively, but we were right there. We played one of our best defensive games, and seeing them this year, they haven't changed a bit. I didn't expect them to change. They had, I think, a couple transfers and a couple key players back, and so that's why they're still at the top. And defense has been a part of that, and so it's been they're fun to watch. Honestly, especially to lock down defense, and so I expect them to be at the top by the end of the season.
All right, so athletes all the time talk about overcoming adversity. I'm sure you've had your share as an individual, but as a team, the obvious blow was losing your running mate Sam Vinson at the midway point of the season due to injury. Just, what has that done to your team? How have you guys tried to overcome that from that point forward?
Yeah, it was very tough at first, obviously, and unfortunate. That's, like you said, my running mate. I miss playing out there with him because he makes the game so easier for me. And so we've definitely been through some adjustments, on both ends for sure, because he was one of our best defenders on the perimeter. And so like I said, we've been through adjustments and won some good ones, lost some tough games. But I know we still have the team to do it. Everyone is locked in. Like I said, we've adjusted without him, and so we've gotten better, honestly. As since the injury, and so. I expect us to make a run for it, for sure.
Next game up for you guys is tomorrow night against Cleveland State. Obviously, I just referenced last year's Cleveland State game at the end of the season. Well, what are your thoughts on the Vikings tomorrow night? What are you preparing for in terms of a challenge from Cleveland State?
Yeah, I mean, they look good again this year. Every game since I think my sophomore year, it's been tough to play against. Close games, tough battles, overtime games, and so I don't expect anything different. It might be a grind-out game or a fast-paced game. We're built to play for both, and so they're coming in and. I think it's honestly a must-win for both teams, and so I think it's going to be a good one.
Before we let you go, the home finale, and again, maybe you get a conference tournament game at home, but the home regular season finale is Sunday against IUPUI. Now, because your first year was the COVID year on campus, you can come back for one more year. You may elect to go pro. Maybe you're playing someplace else. You haven't made that decision just yet. Are you planning on Sunday it being kind of your final game at Northern Kentucky? Have you made that call just yet?
Haven't made the call just yet. Of course, I thought about everything involved. Like you said, playing during the COVID year allowed me to have an extra year of eligibility, and the pro route, which I can take. But I'd be wrong if I didn't think about all the options involved. You know what I'm saying? And so I haven't made a decision yet. And like I mentioned, I've felt all love and support from, Norse Nation, and, I appreciate everything they've done for me. And so that's definitely a consideration for sure.
Well, I would say that's reciprocal. They certainly, feel the love from you and what you have done for that program. And again, playing in an NCAA tournament, and now the program's all-time leading scorer, north of 2,000 points and counting. It is Marquez Warwick that joins us now. Congratulations on a great career to this point. I know you have more chapters left to write. Best of luck the rest of the season. Hopefully we see you back here in Indianapolis in mid-March.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
It may have to be a bit more of a Cinderella run for Northern Kentucky this year. Right now, they're in a three-way tie for the 5th seed, and the difference there is massive. The 5th seed gets a bye into the quarterfinal. 6 and 7 get home games instead of play an extra round. So Northern Kentucky and Cleveland State, that is a battle for position, as again, those two teams play tomorrow night on a full Thursday slate of Horizon League basketball. We'll talk about those big matchups when we come back. We'll crunch the numbers with Kelly Ford when we come back for our final segment of this week's installment of On the Horizon Weekly here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Phone Ready quiz from the American Academy of Pediatrics will help you decide if you and your child are ready for their first phone. Go to healthychildren.org/phone ready quiz.
Overcoming drug addiction is difficult. The road to recovery is different for everyone. Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-239-1749, 800-239-1749, or biglou.com.
Hey guys, looking for a reason to spend 3 days on the couch watching basketball? Schedule your vasectomy at Urology of Indiana for a Thursday or Friday, then sit back, relax, and catch some games over the weekend while you recover. It may be the only time your wife approves of hoarding the couch and the remote control. Vasectomies at Urology of Indiana are simple and typically take only about 15 minutes. Soon after, you'll be out the door and on your way home. During your recovery, you'll take ibuprofen and be back to your normal activities in 3 days. The docs at Urology of Indiana are board certified and perform vasectomies every day of the week, all year long. They're pros at what they do. And they have multiple vasectomy clinics, so chances are good there's one close to you. If you've been putting off your vasectomy, now is the time. You'll never have a better excuse to watch basketball. Call Urology of Indiana or visit vasectomyindy.com for information and to schedule an appointment. That's vasectomyindy.com.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
We're the Hellsberg Wedding Band, and whoa, look at that ring. Boy, is she fancy dancing with that ring. Everybody checking her dancing with that ring. Disco ball on her finger, dancing with that ring. Honestly, nobody's dancing because they're just staring at that ring. Ha! For a great selection of high-quality natural and lab-grown diamonds and custom rings at a great price, visit a Hellsberg near you or Hellsberg.com and she'll be dancing with that ring. Ha!
Jessica, this is the happiest day of my life. Right up there with the day I bought my RV and insured it with Progressive. Man, I love that thing. There are a million fish in the sea, which I'm reminded of every time I bring my RV to the lake, but I vow to love and cherish you just as much as I cherish campsites with full electric and water hookups. I'm so sorry.
Protect your beloved with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Where are my basketball fans at? Present. Welcome to Fandom 101. The madness is upon us. When the biggest ballers in the land take the court, we need you loud, proud, and live cheering them on. The NCAA Division I men's basketball first and second rounds, March 22nd and 24th in Indianapolis. Attendance is encouraged. Passion is mandatory. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/MVP tickets. Class dismissed.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Andy Sweeney. Schedule your free in-home estimate, and for every 2 windows you buy, get the next 2 free, plus a free upgrade to triple pane glass. Will even double your energy tax credit. Restrictions apply, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Say hello to the power, performance, and precision of Ram trucks at Kahlo and Noblesville. The strength and style of Ram, combined with the experience and service you'll only find at Kahlo.
Right now, save up to $13,000 on new 2023 Ram 1500s.
See the massive inventory of Ram trucks at hellokahlo.com or visit the new showroom on State Road 37 in Noblesville.
All rebates and incentives included in final discount. Stock number KCN 230115. TRX models excluded from all offers. See dealer for details. Offer absolutely ends February 29, 2024.
The trail to Twin Peaks, Indianapolis is currently under construction. I-465 is getting a bit of a facelift, but there are alternate routes to reach the peaks. If traveling north, exit 71st Street, take Shadeland 82nd Street and take a left. Traveling southbound, exit 96th Street and take a left on Corporation Drive. From there, follow Bash Street until you find Twin Peaks. Your local Twin Peaks Lodge and favorite 29-degree draft beers are waiting for you.
Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Kids across America are going to school hungry every day. No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
The Pacers return from the All-Star break to host the Detroit Pistons tomorrow evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Welcome back for the final time this evening here on the Horizon Weekly. Again, Greg Rakestraw is my name. Thanks to our producer, James Adams. And this show isn't possible without great sponsors like the folks at Cripe, the Indianapolis Indians, IntelliBuilding, and Miller Insurance. I've been a part of every show. So too has Kelly Ford as we crunch the numbers each and every week. Kelly, we are to the penultimate week of the regular season. How you doing in the Horizon League offices these days?
We're doing great, Greg, and yes, we are coming right down to it. It's a very exciting time for both men's and women's basketball in the Horizon League, and I'm excited to see how it all shakes out here down the stretch.
All right, let's talk about conference strength in terms of the net rankings on both the men's and women's side. Depending on who wins the league tournaments, obviously, that has a great factor in terms of what the seeding is going to be for the automatic bids from this league. But conference strength plays a part in that as well. So where does the Horizon League stack up at this point?
Yeah, Greg, so on the men's side, it's been a great year so far. On average, our 11 teams, 1 through 11, have an average net ranking of 218. As you look at that relative to the other 31 Division I conferences out there, that is number 20. If we were to finish the year at number 20 in the net ranking conference-wide, that would be our best finish since the introduction of the net back in the 2017-18 season. That's on the men's side. On the women's side, it's even better. Right now, across our teams 1 through 11, we average number 204. That's number 17 out of the 32 Division I conferences. Again, that would be the best since the introduction of the net on the women's side in 2020-21 if you take out that COVID-disrupted year of that first season. So it's a great year on both the men's and the women's side from a net perspective, really top to bottom.
All right, we have led the men's discussion by talking about Oakland, and now we can do that in terms of the standings as well. They're a half game ahead of Green Bay heading into this weekend's action. So what about the Oakland resume has your attention right now?
Oakland right now, Greg, and Joe Lunardi's latest bracketology is a number 14 seed, which we're excited about, and we think they deserve to be there, if not better even, depending on how things shake out in other conference tournaments around the country come the beginning of March. With an Oakland win here in their game, because the game that I'm looking at is against Wright State. And Oakland, they've got their quad 1 win against Xavier. They've got a quad 2 win against Youngstown State. This game that I want to talk about with Oakland is against Wright State. It's on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. If Oakland gets a win, it would move their record to 5-4 in Quad 3. And we know that a winning record in Quad 3 can be a tiebreaker of sorts for the selection committee if resumes are comparable. So it's big for Oakland, and for Wright State, it's a chance to earn their first Quad 2 win of the season. And with only one Quad 4 loss on the resume, Wright State likely has a better resume than most are assuming given the Raiders' record, Greg. So this is a huge one for both teams Sunday, 3 p.m. on ESPN+.
And when you've got the numbers 2 and 3 teams in the league getting together as well in Green Bay and Youngstown State, I know that also has your attention.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you've got a second screen available, also Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+, as you mentioned, Youngstown State, Green Bay, number 3 at number 2, the penultimate weekend, as you mentioned earlier. This game could have huge ramifications on each team's respective path to the title during the Barbasol Horizon League Men's Championship here in just a couple weeks, culminating at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum right here in Indy.
All right, so with that, all the discussion has been on the women's side of things about the Flyers that Cleveland State and Green Bay are on, both 14-2. They've split their 2 matchups with 4 regular season games left to go for both. What are the resumes looking like from a net/national perspective for what are clearly the top 2 teams in the league?
Yeah, both really strong resumes, Greg. And I'll take it Green Bay first because right now they have an at-large profile. I mean, if Green Bay failed to win our AQ, I like their chances to get in the NCAA tournament as an at-large as things stand right now. They are 2-0 against net top 25 teams, which is a huge thing that the women's selection committee is looking at. Green Bay's got 3 wins against the net top 100. And for Cleveland State, right now in Charlie Cream's latest bracketology, they are projecting as a 13 seed as our de facto AQ for right now. Placeholder, as you said, they're tied in the standings. You have to get down the tiebreakers to figure that out for now. But Cleveland State, they've got to win against the top 100 in the net. That would be against Green Bay. So we feel really good about the resumes of both Green Bay and Cleveland State as we come down the stretch here on the women's side.
And I know the game that has your attention from a women's perspective is a game that, frankly, we talked about in the opening segment of the show. Green Bay gets to stay at home this week. In fact, 3 of their last 4 are going to be at the Crest Center. Tell me about the matchup with Oakland coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's huge, Greg. Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. Greg, Green Bay is 16-1 in games against teams with a net worse than 150. That one loss, it was by 2 points on the road at Oakland back on January 20th. That game is the primary reason that the Phoenix find themselves in the, quote, last 4 byes in the latest bracketology instead of what I think they'd be safely in the field otherwise. So I'm curious to see how Green Bay plays with revenge on their mind in this one. And for Oakland, can they pull off the season sweep? I'm really excited to see it Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+.
Kelly, we have approached things from kind of a net perspective over the course of our conversations here. But now that next week is the last week of the conference regular season, and teams are figuring out, am I playing at home on Tuesday? Am I playing on the road on Tuesday? Am I not playing at all on Tuesday? Do I get to wait until Thursday? Simply put, what does next week look like for you as you're putting together all the permutations, all the travel plans, et cetera? Is it like Grand Central Station in the Horizon League office?
That's a great way to put it, Greg. Yes, it is a very busy time, but it's a very exciting time. We're on daily communication with our membership, getting everybody ready for the first round and quarterfinals, which, as you mentioned, Tuesday, March 5th, Thursday, March 7th on campus before it culminates with the semifinal and championship rounds Monday, March 11th, Tuesday, March 12th, right here at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum in Indianapolis. Yes, Grand Central Station, it's very busy. We're going to have staff members all over the footprint at the beginning of March. It's going to be very fun and exciting. But like you said, it all depends on what the bracket looks like. So we're waiting just like everybody else to see what it looks like there at the end of the season on Saturday, March 2nd.
Then again, all roads lead to Indianapolis because, as you well know, March starts here, even if it starts on campus, frankly, March 5th and 7th first. Kelly, as always, thanks for the time and the insight. We'll do it again next week.
Appreciate it, Greg. Thank you.
And we close out the show today after we just crunch those numbers with Kelly Ford with a fan that has, well, started his march the last couple of years at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. His name is Dan Thompson, and, well, much like me, he's a resident of hashtag Midtown, at least if he embraces it. Dan, good evening. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing fine. I know that we share a mutual friend in the great Sean Sullivan from the Horizon League office, but tell us kind of how you first came across or thought of the idea of attending the Horizon League tournament in your own backyard.
Yeah, so I've got 3 kids, a 12-year-old girl, 8-year-old boy, 4-year-old girl. And my son and I, my son's a sports nut. I'm a sports nut growing up watching IU, Purdue, all Indiana teams. And 3 years ago, we watched the Horizon League Championship on TV when he was like 5, and we thought, we'll go to that next year. So then the next year we went, and it was a 2-point game, so it was pretty exciting. Last year, my 12-year-old daughter was interested, so we took her. It was an exciting game, so we just we like it's tournament basketball. It's exciting. It's good basketball. You get to sit really close to the court. My kids liked because they were on ESPN last year. We found we snuck into just the right area to get on ESPN, and tickets were like $20 a piece. So it was an easy night out. And then the Coliseum after post renovation. I know that's been a few years at this point, but the Coliseum's a great venue to go watch. So it's just been fun.
Clearly, you've recruited your entire family. Now, what about the entire, friends and, neighborhood block? Could this be like a block party going to watch Horizon League basketball?
Yeah. So our mutual friend Sean has hooked me up. My wife and I coach a second and third grade team at St. Joan of Arc, and they have all been invited to the game this year. So I think a player and their parent will be at either the semifinal or championship games. I am slowly getting there. Again, it's March Madness. It's legit. Fun basketball, fun atmosphere. There's all sorts of – the mascots are great. The bands are great. The cheerleaders are great. It's a fun atmosphere, and you're sitting 3-4 rows up. It's great.
Now that you have been to so many of them, do you have got a favorite game, favorite moment, favorite memory from the times you've gone these last 2 or 3 years? So
2 years ago, I think Wright State was down 15 or 16, and my son, again, at the time was 6. He before the game said, okay, who's going to win? And he stuck with him the entire game. They end up winning, last 10 seconds, they hit a shot, and it's kind of over from there. But then he went on to pick Wright State to win the whole thing in the tournament, for the NCAA pick'em. Unfortunately, that didn't work out for him. But just watching him it was a little confusing because they're the Raiders, but they're a wolf mascot.
Right.
But rooting for the Wolves, in his words. But it was just kind of fun to watch him attached to a team and go through. But, the last 2 years, I will say, have been, awesome basketball, right down to the wire. Tons of fun, lots of energy. Again, people in the arena know you're on ESPN. the fans know these are basketball schools, so this is a big deal for all those student bases. So it gets nuts. It's been fun.
It is great that you can recount those stories with us. I look forward to seeing you at the Coliseum now in less than a month. Dan, thanks for the time this evening. Greatly appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good one.
And that'll do it for this edition of On the Horizon Weekly. Thank you to James Adams. Thanks to John Griffin from the fan sales staff, Sean Sullivan from the Horizon League office, and to all of our wonderful guests. Again, next week we're moving to Tuesday night because the Pacers play on Wednesday. And also know this, we're going to do a live edition of the show, the final week of the show, Monday night, March 11th, leading into the men's semifinals at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. More details on that over the next couple of weeks. Gotta go. Thanks for listening. This has been On the Horizon Weekly here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.